but we good. I guess we good. I feel good. Power Monday all up in your area. Daily Go Getter Wisdom Show. Yeah. What's going on, y'all? Yeah. Power Monday, baby. Daily Go Getter Wisdom Show. Yeah. So, we gotta have a little talk. When was the last time y'all been offended by somebody? Let me know. Son 7, Mag 11. Keep it simple, y'all. Bust a pimple, y'all. Yeah, dimples, y'all. Goes deep like that. Yeah. TK, right. Morning, noon, and night. Yeah, baby. Hit that like button, y'all. Shirley Cheryl, the world. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily. It's the Daily Go Get Wisdom Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talk about what you offended by tonight, what you're offended by, and what you're not offended by. What you're offended by and what you're not. Now, when you start talking about what you're actually offended by, you're talking about something deeper than just what you don't like or what you don't appreciate. When something is offensive to you, it weaves deep inside of your soul, inside of your conscience. It's like it may not even have anything to do with you personally. You may find something offensive that goes against or makes something seem bad about something you believe in, something that you like, someone that you believe in or that you like or that you appreciate or that you protect. Like an injustice. When you see somebody being treated unfairly or when you see blatant outright injustice out there, you may be offended by that. Like, whoa. Even if I am the governing body, I don't want to see that. There's no room for, we shouldn't be alienating people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk about those people like that. That's a stereotype. And not everybody is like, don't let your prejudices just get in the way of everything. Come on now. Like, we're supposed to be brothers. Let's. Nah, I don't want to hear none of that. That's not the kind of thing that we put together out of here. I didn't sign up for that. That's not what I came here for. You understand? Well, if y'all gonna act like that, then I want my money back because I'm not gonna be. This is my last day here. I'm turning my resignation because I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna holler. So when you are offended by something, see, it's one thing to just not like something. It's one thing to not appreciate something. But when we talk about something that offends you, something that's offensive to you, we're talking about a whole different kettle of fish. What's up, y'all? Hold on. Let me say what's up to my peoples. T. Carey Wright, more than noon and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your sight. And Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Thanks for coming through. Good to see you, girl. And who's that? AJ82? Is that right? Or do my eyes, or is it 62? Let me see. I think it's 82. AJ82, what's good? He says, bro's not funny. Oh, I'm not funny. Well, what do we do about that? Okay. And Bill says, let's turn to God's shepherds. Chapel on YouTube explains the whole Bible. God bless. And my man Crash, my people's Crash is in the house. What's good? Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all, all of y'all. Word. So when you're offended by something, that's more than just not liking something. That's more than not really caring for something. You know how you say, well, you know what I mean? It's all right, but I don't care for that too much. That's like an ice cream flavor that you don't really like to eat. Like, I don't really care for that. Rocky Road, there's too much stuff in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care for Rocky Road. You know, you're not offended by Rocky Road. Like, yo, I can't believe I went to the ice cream parlor and I asked for some vanilla ice cream. You know what I mean? Some regular chocolate, some strawberry, you know what I mean? You know, tutti frutti, whatever. And the motherfucker gave me some Rocky Road. Like, who does he think I am? When you're offended by something, it's normally because there's a personal attack on something that you hold dear or something that is important to you or something that you think needs to be upheld and respected. So it might be offensive. Like, why does this person have to talk like that? Why does he have to or she have to talk about people like that? For example, maybe you don't like to see people, you know how, let's take homeless people. And you might hear somebody say, instead of helping out the homeless, giving a couple of dollars or something like that, they might say, get a job. Y'all out here on the streets, y'all out here pissing and shitting on the streets and you're making society bad. You need to go get a job. That way you wouldn't be homeless. You might find that offensive. Lack of thought, lack of understanding, lack of insight. Plus, pointing out what they believe is a solution to a problem that really there is no solution to so far. So you might find that offensive because the same way that they might talk about homeless people, they might talk about foreigners, immigrants, black people, white people, anybody. You can be offended by a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. But when you're offended, it's normally because someone has misjudged or criticized or insulted something that you think is important or that you think should be held in high esteem or respect, and something that you hold dear. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't appreciate that. And not only that, when you're offended by something, normally you want the offender gone. Like, no, I don't want you to just check him. Like, let's say you went to the grocery store or the market, and the cashier was rude, obnoxious, and offensive to you or to another customer. Maybe they were offensive to a senior or a child, and you didn't like that. You didn't like that. You thought that was bad for business. So you didn't just, turn your nose up at it and walk away. You may have said something about it, requested to see a manager about it, and asked that person be removed. Like, I don't think that this person should be working and working in a public like this if they don't have more couth, tact. Like, they don't have good customer service. I want them out of here. Normally when something offends you, you want it gone. Okay, look at that. Like Century says, you ain't shit and you a clown. And I say, you can suck a dick. Not mine, but for right now, I'll do the gesture. And you may be offended by this gesture, and I don't give a fuck. Let me get even more offensive. Matter of fact, let me get shit out of the way. Here's for you, Century. And no, I wasn't nutting on you. I'm pissing on your dumb ass. Strong prostate style. And that's for your mom too. See, I can rev up the offensiveness. Fuck you. Fuck everybody that's associated with you. Yeah. You might be my guinea pig offender tonight. Dumb motherfucker. Dumb motherfucker. Dumb motherfucker. If you came to this channel thinking you was going to find a shrinking violet or somebody that won't go back and forth with you, you've come to the wrong place, asshole. All right. Damn, I can't read that last name nor what they said. That's in Russian writing. But welcome to the show. So we're talking about what you're offended by and what you're not. Why do you find some things to be offensive, and why don't you find other things to be offensive? Like some people might find it offensive when they hear a lot of profanity, curse words, swearing, particularly when seniors are around. Old people or young people. Young people who are impressionable. You may be offended by that. I can understand why somebody would be offended by that. That makes sense to me. And I have been offended at times when I've seen some people exercise their First Amendment in ways that I don't think should be expressed. And, quite honestly, sometimes when you are too offensive to a person, it can have far-reaching consequences. Far-reaching consequences. Like he reached back and bow! Tore that ass apart. I'm going to move my hardware out of the way now. Thank you. I'm going to move my hardware out of the way. We about to have this good conversation today. I play how I want to play, stay where I'm at, and make sure the next time I'm up to bat, you ain't know what's up with that. The cat came through, meow, meow, yeah. And with the bow wow, woof, woof, I take the shit off like a wolf. Woofs don't woof, woof. Did you know that? All right, so we good. We good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. So, what we are offended by and what we're not. What makes us offended by something? What makes something offensive to us? When you really think about it, like really, what makes something offensive to you? Hate Me says hi. What up? Century is still here. Good. See, you like this shit. Yes. You like this shit. So we've turned what do you call them? Trolls. We've turned trolls around. So you're still here. What time is it? Let's see. It is 2:20 in the morning. 2:25 in the morning. And no, it is 2:20 in the morning. The fuck is this? 2:20 in the morning. You don't have nothing better to do, so you're gonna hang out with us. Matter of fact, that's good shit. That's good shit. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something that will describe the way that I feel about the situation. Sometimes you just have to, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. There you go. Man, if you'll go somewhere with that bullshit. Yeah. Damn, man, why always gotta put up with these dickheads? The fuck? What? Every time. Here we go again. Here we go the fuck again. Yes. They're going up. Okay. A cornball in the chat fronting again. They go another cornball in the chat fronting again. You think it won't win it with? You think? Wait a minute. There you go. Go. Damn, man, why always gotta put up with these dickheads? The fuck? What? Every time. Here we go again. Here we go the fuck again. Okay. So you understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. Hate me says, bro, where do you live right now? My place is 1:20 a.m. So you are in Central Standard Time. We're on the East Coast. So it's 2:20 a.m. here. So if you were in, Central is an hour back. Mountain Time is 2 hours. West Coast Time, 3 hours. You know how it goes. So you in Central Standard Time. And that's cool. But over here on the East, we do it like we do on the East. and I'm the beast of the East. Newly crowned. Newly crowned. But we're talking about what you're offended by and what you're not offended by. You know, so if y'all would be so kind, can you list in the chat some things that you find offensive? What are you offended by? Now I can get it started. Like I said, I don't like to see I don't like to see good people, decent people, nice people. I don't like to see them get yelled at or humiliated or teased or bullied. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like to see people get bullied. I'm very offended by bullies, and I always have been since I was a child, a little skinny kid. I've always been offended by people who tried to bully people, and I would never allow anybody to bully me. And I don't like to see other people get bullied either. I don't like that. So if I got to jump in and stop the bully, I'll do it. Particularly when the bully is targeting somebody that may be afraid of them or is disabled. That's something that I find offensive too. I don't like when people tease people who are disabled. You know, whether you are physically disabled, mentally retarded, or disabled, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't really like that. You know, because they're not in control of their condition, and I don't think that they should be. I don't like that. I am offended by that. Okay. Hate Me says Pennsylvania called your number. I saw it on the bathroom. Oh, Pennsylvania called your number. I saw it on the bottom of your yeah. Oh, so it's on the bottom of your video. On my video, it's at the top, but it's at the bottom of yours. That's cool. You can call it. Oh, and the number is real. But that's not a Pennsylvania number. That's a Philadelphia number. 267 and 215 are Philadelphia numbers. And I have to separate Philadelphia from the rest of Pennsylvania because the rest of Pennsylvania does not count to Philadelphia. We run this shit. You know what I mean? We do. We run it. The elections, everything runs through Philadelphia. The western side of Pennsylvania, you know, Pittsburgh and all of that, they all right, but they ain't us. They're Pennsylvania. We're Philadelphia. We have our own state. But it's like we're distributed by Pennsylvania. It's all good, though. It's all good. Shout out to the whole PA. But yeah, you can call that number if you want to call in, you know, give your 2 cents, ask a question, make a statement, join in the conversation. The number is there for a reason. The number is there for a reason if you want to utilize it. But yeah, so what are y'all offended by? What are you offended by? What are you offended? Like I said, I don't like to see homeless people, you know, I don't like when people have it. Well, okay. I have to break this down because when I talk about what I'm offended by. Oh, you called the number? When did you call the number? You couldn't have called it tonight. No way you called it tonight because we can hear it. We can hear it, son. Mm-hmm. Like we can hear it. Like this is how it'll sound if you call the number. Let's see. 267-874-1949. Oh fuck. Because I have this damn because I have the app on this phone, it won't let me call it. Well, let me make sure we straight. Let me make sure. Let me make sure, man. Let me make sure. No, I should still be able to call it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's how it goes. You said, oh, but it said Pennsylvania, so I thought you lived in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I do live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Like I was trying to explain to you that when you from Philly, you don't say that you're from Pennsylvania. We just don't. We consider ourselves to be above the rest of the state. Like, this is Philly and this is Pennsylvania. Philly, PA. I don't know. I don't know if that makes it any easier. Yeah. This is what it sounds like when the phone starts to ring. I'm about to answer that thing. Word. Let's get into it.
You have a call from.
Caller with the last numbers 5639. Welcome to the Daily Go-Getterism Show. What's on your mind tonight on this Power Monday? What's good?
I just want to give an example of what it should sound like if somebody's calling into the show.
Well, I appreciate that. And you did very well. I tried to call in myself. They was like, no, the app is on your phone. You can't call yourself, dummy. I called in and tried to give me the voicemail. I'm like, no.
Well, I just wanted you to
well, good
have
looking.
an example.
Do you have an example?
No, I just gave you an example of what it sounds like when somebody calls into the show.
No, I want an example of what's offensive to you.
Oh man, what's offensive to me? Ooh.
As a matter of fact, let me ask you something.
Offensive to me. Ignorance is offensive to me.
Well, that's a broad statement. You know, a lot of things are ignorant.
For example, well, I'm going to give you an example. For example, if we're at the nail salon, and there's always some ignorant ass young lady or girl who, instead of just asking or having a normal conversation or complaint, she just starts acting ignorant. Bitch, I don't like my nails. You fuck my nail up, and just goes all wild out and crazy instead of just saying, "Hey, I don't like this." Instead of acting ignorant, or someone who's at a restaurant and their food isn't made correctly, instead of just saying, "Hey, I don't like this," they just go all out of the way to add an extra layer of stupidity to their complaint. That offends me.
Okay.
Like, it had bigger side, in all honesty. So
okay, and I can understand how that would be offensive. And like I said, like I was saying at the top of the show, we're normally offended by things that when somebody insults or criticizes or does something bad to something that we hold dear or something that we think should be upheld in importance and respect. Disrespect can be very offensive. And of course, disrespect is different for different people. Like some people are offended by one thing and not another thing. Hold on. It looks like we have another caller. Watch out for whether this is a troll, though, because I don't know. It feels trolly. Hold on.
You have a call from.
Caller with the last numbers 1096. Welcome to the Daily Go-Getterism Show. What's on your mind tonight?
hello.
Yes?
Hi.
Hi. That's it? All right. So
I'm in your chair right now. I'm watching your live.
oh my God. Well, how old are you? Like 6? Yo,
No.
only listen, do this. Only concentrate on the phone, not the video. The phone is faster than the video. So stop watching the video and concentrate on the phone.
Okay.
You're not doing it. All right, we gotta get him out of here. And how old are you?
11.
11. Why aren't you asleep? It's late at night. Why are you calling this show at 1 something in the morning?
I don't know.
All right, you gotta go. I gotta get him the fuck out of here. I gotta get him the fuck out of here. Sorry. That's not going to work. All right. All right. Come on, Kimberly. What's the
Your call has
deal?
been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 3-1.
And she mess around and try to call back in at the same time.
Yeah, I was trying to call you. I guess time you were trying to call me.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to get the young boy out of here. Yo, so he in the chat talking about some video is delayed, folks. Yeah, that's all YouTube videos. It's just that most YouTube channels don't have a phone number that you can call into. But it's all good.
So it's going to be one of those kind of moments. One of those kind of shows.
Oh, Hate Me was the one who called. Okay. That was a girl. It sounded like a little boy. Anyway, you're too young. Too young. But I can't stop you from watching the show. But I'm not going to talk to an 11-year-old phone. That's not going to happen. All right. So, like I said, so we were talking about what's offensive. All right. So, let me ask you this. Do you find it offensive when a man that you don't know very well, who may be interested in you, starts talking to you in a sexualized way before he really gets to know you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know I get offended by that immediately. And in certain words, I get offended by what they said to me.
Okay.
Like, hey, Redbone, oh my God. That's the one that offends me the most of anything. I can handle bitch before I handle that.
Ain't that some shit? Ain't that a bitch? You know what I mean?
What's up, chat? What's up, family? I didn't do that when we first came in. That's offensive, not greeting the girl. But yeah, oh my gosh, I cannot stand, I don't even like talk to someone new and they immediately start on the sex tip. It's like, well, I'm through talking to you today, right now. I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. And I don't know you for us to have that kind of conversation or speak like that. I'm not okay with it. And then it just forces me to be mean.
Okay.
And act like I'm 15. So it's like, let's not do that. But I'm really offended by certain words. Like I said, I can handle bitch better than what's up, Redbone. God, I hate that so bad. Oh.
Now, why do you find that offensive?
I don't know. I have always hated it. It just, something about it just feels dirty.
Really? Dirty?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just bothers me to my core. It feels negative. I just don't like it. It's something about it I just don't like. I don't think it's an attractive. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's flirty. I just think, and it just makes me feel, I don't know. Something about it just feels off.
Let me ask you this:
like
when somebody says that to you, do you feel like they're not seeing you for as the person you are? Does that have anything to do with it?
Yep, that part. Yeah.
Okay, so you think that
it immediately makes me shut down.
Oh, so you feel like? Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like they are looking at you as more of a thing than a person or a woman, or is there something else to it?
Oh, absolutely. I do feel that.
Okay. All
I
right.
do feel that. There's nothing comfortable about that because that's, first of all, that's not my name. That doesn't define who I am. And then it makes me question how you feel about culture and ethnicity, and how you view yourself when you do that. Like if a guy who is dark, and I like dark men, but a dark man says that to me, and that's all he focuses on. I'm giving him the side eye because it's like, well, you interested in my skin, you know? And do you have a different preference? But I'm the closest to that preference you can find where you can parade me around and not feel like the sisters Rose is gonna say anything to you. So is that the reason I don't like it? I don't like any part of it at all.
That's interesting because I never would have really thought about it because I play around like that all the time, and I'm like, damn, I never really thought about. Now I've known women other than you that were somewhat offended by it, but I never really thought about like exactly what you're saying, like in that context, like, but because I could see how you would look at it that way, but at the same time, or independently, I wouldn't have arrived at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's valid. It's valid. It's almost, to me, it's almost like somebody taking the liberty of calling you by a nickname that you haven't given them the liberty of doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like it.
And it could be a nickname that symbolizes more of a thing than your person. Like, okay, so your name is Kimberly. So instead of, and I know that you don't really like when people say the whole thing. So, so it's crazy because that's kind of like in reverse. So if somebody insisted on calling you Kimberly time after time after time, would that be offensive to you, or would it be, or would that fall under the umbrella of offensiveness, or would it just be like disrespectful? Because I do believe that people should call you what you instruct them to call you.
No, it just determines where our relationship is. Like specific people who I work with who can call me anything other than Kimberly. Like if we don't have a good relationship, don't call me anything other than Kimberly. That's the professional name. And if you are outside of work and that's the name you keep using, then I guess that's how we are is on a professional level. We're definitely not on a friendly level. Like if you call me Kimberly and we've been associated for a very long time, I only hear that name from loved ones who are just playing, or like if somebody's mad at me, or if it's business. So if that's what you choose to call me, then you just negated where our relationship is. That's how I feel about it. I mean, consistently.
That's interesting because I actually like Kimberly better than Kim, but yeah, I mean, it's your choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is. It's your choice, and I do think that it's like remember back in the day, Muhammad Ali had a problem with some people calling him Muhammad Ali. When he first started out boxing, he was Cassius Clay.
Mm-hmm.
And when he joined the Nation of Islam and he started calling himself Muhammad Ali, there was a particular boxer that refused to call him Muhammad Ali. And it was a famous fight where Muhammad Ali is pounding the shit out of this motherfucker, making him call him. You know what I mean? It was like he was beating him like a slave, but with boxing gloves. Like, what's my name? Bow! Bad. This shit was fucking crazy. And yeah, he eventually did call him Muhammad Ali. Like, all right, look, I ain't gonna be taking his ass whooping. But yeah, what you tell people to call you is what they should call you. Now, as long as it's not too far to, the nickname might be so ridiculous that people might find it offensive to call you that. Like, well, my name is Big Dick Bob. Like, dog, I'm not doing that. I'm not calling you Big Dick Bob.
Listen.
It's not going to.
Listen, my cousin used to date a guy named Kenny Boo.
Kenny Boo.
And all the men were like, I'm not calling him that. I'm not calling him that.
It's like Cedric the Entertainer said, look, I'm a grown damn man, dog. I ain't gonna be calling no man no delicious. But but what I don't like,
as far as the names go, people who know me, like in my circle, who love me and care about me, everybody has their own nickname for me. So, and I'm okay with that. I just have a problem with strangers who do it, and we don't have any kind of anything. Like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you know, and even the women have nicknames for me. So, you know, it's I'm okay with that. But just some random ass person, no, get the hell out of my face. And like I said, that red bone stuff, please don't. You, Gary, call me all kind of bitches because I'm going to ignore you. So there's that.
Yeah.
And even as you're talking about this, so this, I'm like, if this man does not get out of my damn head. So when this topic came up, I was like, well, isn't that something? Because I just had an incident earlier where I had to end one of my work contracts because one of these people I work with, she's been offensive for 2 months now. And I said last month, I said, if I go into November and she does anything else, I'm going to end this contract. Now, I know it's going to have an effect on my lifestyle and my finances, but I cannot take any more because the next reaction for me is not going to go well. So in order for me to stay sane and professional, I say going into November, this lady has one more time to be offensive. She says and does little things that I'm like, at any point, I'm like, this bitch want to say this. That's how I feel. At any moment, she wants to say it.
She chomping at the bit.
Huh?
She chomping at the bit.
She is. And I'm like, woo, child, lady, you don't even understand how bad this, again, I told you before, she is passive aggressive and she is getting ready to make me be an apex predator. So because of that, I knew I had to get away. And she had one more time and she did it. And I said, today is it. Fuck this. Because this is messing with my mental real bad. And it's going to make me ugly. So the best thing for me to do is part ways. And that's just what I did abruptly. I don't believe in that 2-week notice shit. If this is a fucking contract and you're not going to be respectful, I'm out. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm out. And I was the only me in this business. So I could see it. I could hear it, and I felt it all around me. And I'm like, man, I don't even work in office with these people. We all work remotely, and I could feel that negativity. And I was like, I got to go. So last month I decided, going into November, if this is what it's going to be, I'm not going to spend the last 2 months of the year with this bullshit. I just have to make shit work and check out something else. And that's what I intend to do, because this was it. I felt it. Like any moment she wants to say those words. And I feel like she said them anyway, but I feel like she wanted to ease and say it to me. And it just isn't going to go well. And I'm going to shut the whole company down because I'm not that kind of person. It's a monster that lives inside me. And I don't mind her waking up at any time. I tell people I play well with my demons at this age of 54. I used to hide and run from them, but now we are good friends. And if you want to wake them up, let's do it. So the best thing for me to do is to cut ties, because I was offended by a lot of things that were said. And it was always something where I knew all you have to do is replace one word. All you have to do is replace one ethnicity. All you have to do is replace one gender. All you have to do is replace one something, and it's me and mine. So I was like, this offensive ass bitch here, I gotta cut ties because this is not gonna work.
Nah, I could dig it. When somebody is offensive to you one-on-one, a lot of times you can, get that squared away with a conversation, but sometimes a person is unwilling because they may have such disrespect or disdain for you. They're not really looking for peace. They're looking for dominance.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing more offensive than somebody thinking that they can dominate you as if you can't resist, fight back, or dominate them. You know what I mean? Like when somebody really thinks they're going to dominate you, you looking like, fuck you think this is? You know what I mean? Like schoolyard bully or some shit like that. Nobody, So yeah. So have you ever been offended by something that you saw being done to someone else?
Of course. So, I have an affinity for children, seniors, people who are homeless, people who are just trying to make it. And of course, right now in this weird world we're living in, no, some of these things don't directly affect me, but indirectly they do. And even if they didn't, they still bother me. These conversations about people who are not going to receive their food benefits, I'm offended by some of the things that are being said across the board. And some of these people, I wish I could go and kick them in the teeth because shut the fuck up, for real, shut up. And that includes people who I know whose parents had to get food stamps back in the day, and now they're brand new and have all these negative things to say. And it has caused a problem in my circle because I am the voice of, are you kidding me? Let me run down how your mama, and then it's like, Kim, don't do that. And now you causing a risk. And then I'm going to go home then. Here, let me remove myself from the situation since I'm the bad guy here. But you letting this bitch over here say X, Y, Z, and nobody's saying anything. I don't like that. Because are you kidding me? You cannot sit up here and talk bad about somebody else based on what you heard out of the 5 people 100 people, 5 people do these things, and you're saying all 100 are doing this. No, I'm offended by that. It bothers me to my core. I don't like it. And I wish more people said something against these people who are saying this negative stuff. And like I said, even in my own circle, I have to remove myself because now I'm going to be ugly, and then you're going to be mad at me for the next 2 years, and I don't give a damn because I stay mad at you for life. So, so when it's that kind of conversation, even when it comes to people asking for money or homelessness or something like that, these comments about it's jobs out here when I know damn well it's not. And I know it's not easy to get a job. So I don't like the negativity, when somebody is saying something bad to someone else. I don't like to see people mistreat seniors. That bothers me to my core. Like that will make me fight the hell out of you. Like that will make me do some evil kind of mess to you if I see you do something to a senior. Like I'll bets are off. And that includes people who work at senior centers. Like I've had to visit somebody before and saw somebody do something that was very nefarious, and then it just was a whole scene. And this is not my grandparents, my auntie, uncle, nobody, but it's somebody who is somebody to me because I'm human, and I'm not going to watch you treat them like that and mistreat them. So that becomes an issue with me. So I'm offended by those kind of things. I'm offended by people who say something about someone who doesn't have a lot of money. I'm offended by people who talk bad about mothers who have children and they're just trying to make it. I'm offended by people who say something about single mothers. And I'm definitely offended when somebody focuses a lot on Black young mothers and have a lot of stuff to say. Because there's a lot of these men out here on these podcasts who have a lot to say about young black mothers who are just trying to survive, and they always want to paint them to be whores, and I have a problem with that. So yeah, I'm offended by a lot of those kind of things.
Okay. I kind of figured that. So what do you think? What do you think makes what is it that makes something offensive to you versus just something that you don't care for or that you don't like? What makes it offensive?
I think it's because it's the removal of humanity.
Mm.
It's just common sense that it's easy to be humane. It's easy to be your brother's keeper. And when you step outside of that intentionally just to be mean or just to get attention, then it's that burns up inside me. Like if it's something that you really don't know, then I could understand that. If you really don't know struggle, then I could understand that. But if you intentionally understand it and you go out of your way to be a bully, then that's where I have a problem. That's where I'm offended by it. Like somebody who goes into a store or a restaurant or a fast food place and acts a fool over because you didn't give me 3 packs of ketchup and you only gave me 1 and I need 3. And instead of just saying, hey, can I get 2 more packs? I'm going to go in here and tear the store up and cuss you out and act like a fool. I'm offended by that kind of behavior.
And you're
embarrassing and on somewhere.
Now, I'm still trying to figure out what makes that offensive.
Because they're removing the simplicity of just being human, and they're purposely trying to be a bully.
Okay, so you feel offended for the people who are being cussed out or spoken to that way?
Yeah, I'm offended that they're doing that action to that person.
Okay, all right, I got you. Because I'm trying to figure out where the root of the offensiveness comes in. Because I was thinking about this. Like what makes something offensive versus just, something that I don't like, something that I don't care for, something that I'm indifferent to, or something that, that I think is just whack.
I think it'd be embarrassment too. I'm embarrassed for the person. I'm embarrassed for myself. And people say, why are you embarrassed by things that have nothing to do with you? Well, here, let me call it what it is. If a black woman is going into an establishment and acting like a jackass, I'm embarrassed for the culture. If a woman is going into a place acting like a jackass, I'm embarrassed for my gender. If a human is just acting a jackass, I'm embarrassed for humanity.
Okay. That's interesting. That really is. Now, I'm normally offended by something that I feel connected to. When somebody has desecrated or insulted or addressed something that's close to me, something that's dear to me, something that I hold in high regard. That's offensive to me. Like, oh, hold the fuck up. Like, same thing with you. Like, I don't play that shit when it comes to seniors. But also, one thing I'm offended by, and I don't always get a chance to express why I'm offended by it, but I don't like it. I don't like the fact that today's adults smoke weed and shit around kids like it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Like these cookouts that I go to or any kind of function, they just break out the weed and the kids are used to the weed. Like we just didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like if you smoked weed back when I was a kid, you walked off with whoever smoked weed with you, and y'all went and smoked, in the park, in the woods, away from adults, away from seniors, away from kids, away from anybody. And in that way, I hate to sound like an old head, but in that way, that's why I miss weed being treated as a drug because it wasn't so in your face. You didn't have to deal with it all the time. So I'm offended by people who just light up as if your air quality don't matter. And that's
my mother smoked reefer. She smoked reefer joint, and I did not know for the longest time. To this day, I've never seen her do it. You know, when she was alive, I was an adult, and I, in my life, had never seen my mother smoke anything. But I found out she did by accident. But she had done it my whole life, and I never knew. Because it was something secretive. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you didn't do it around a kid. You didn't bring it around a kid. Like, even with drinking, the only thing I ever saw my mother drink was that nasty ass pink champagne. That's it.
Okay. That's cold duck.
That's trash. That's what that is. I think something's wrong with her taste buds.
So, all right. Yeah. Like, I don't like that. Because I'm like, okay, just because weed is the least toxic substance that you can consume, it doesn't mean that you should set that example for kids because they don't process the information the same way. You know what I mean? So because children mimic so many things that adults do, I just don't think it's cool. But now I be seeing senior citizens light up like it ain't. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? You know what I mean? So the kids are all I have left because these old heads, they on board. I don't know what the hell happened. But yeah, I find I'm offended by that. And especially cigarettes. I can actually deal with weed smoke. But I don't think it's okay to practice getting or to let children see you practice getting high. I just don't think that that's cool. I mean, people gonna do what they do, but I just don't think it's cool. You know what I mean? And yeah, I have a problem with that.
So it looks like somebody's trying to call, but I guess I'm having trouble with the number.
Well, somebody. Wait a minute, man. Dang, international number black man. I just try. Oh no. He's probably out of the country, and he's trying to call. But I'm sorry, man. I don't have no international number. I don't have no 1-800 number or nothing like that. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Chris. You know what I mean? I wonder. But wait. No, damn. He would have to put his number in the chat. So I don't. I don't want him to do that. Because I could probably call him for free.
Too bad you don't have it set up where he can just directly message you.
And you know, it does have a chat feature, but I can't. And I'll be able to read his chat. I mean, I'll be able to read his text, but I won't be able to text him back.
Okay.
I wasn't paying for no texting.
Okay.
Now you'd be amazed. A lot of people have tried to have texted. I'm like, I can't, you know what I mean? Can't text you back. All right. Hey, do me a favor, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button. That's all I'm going to ask for. That's all I ask of you. What's up?
Oh, you know what you do? Don't you have a 7752 email? Don't you have an email for the show?
Yeah.
Tell me email you his number.
And then call. All right, Chris.
Yeah.
All right. If you put your if you go to this email, let me see. And give me your number. Perhaps I can call you. At least I'll give it a shot. You go to that email address and give me your phone number.
AOL.com, not ... just one dot, Chris, just so you know.
Oh, damn. Did I put 2 dots?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. I'll just...
Like you got some kind of special email or something.
I'll scrap it.
I wanted to add to this. As I'm saying things are offensive, some people think I'm offensive.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay. And I don't care. That's fine. But some people think I'm offensive because, of course, and I get this all the time in my messages. I'm always tickled. They're like, you are so unladylike. It's so unladylike for you to use so much profanity. It just doesn't sound appropriate for it coming out of your mouth. And then I've even had guys like, I can't believe you say these things that you say, and it just doesn't look appropriate coming out of your mouth. You don't look like you should say those kind of things. And I'm like, well, what should I look like? A wolf bear for me to say those kind of things? And I'm like, this is not brand new anything. I curse. I work all day with people that I have to be on a professional level with, and sometimes I'm just going to smash out. And when I get off, then I say all the things I want to say. I'm relaxed and I'm to myself, and I can say what the hell I want to say, and I do. So I'm sorry that you're offended by it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, I can't please everybody, and I don't care if I do or don't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of it, as long as I please me. But I'm offensive to other people, especially some church women. I'm definitely offensive to them. I always get those kind of messages. That whole part about my demons and I play well together, they absolutely hate that. It drives them insane. Don't say that. Or I'll say something like it's either jail or hell, and I just choose hell. They hate when I say that. So I'm offensive to other people too, and I'm aware of it.
Okay. All right. So even though you're offensive to him, you choose that violence.
I do wake up every day with it on my mind.
Okay, I can understand. Yeah, but then let's talk about this profanity thing. No, not just on your side, but I mean profanity as a whole, because a lot of people are offended by profanity. They really are. They find it offensive, and sometimes I have to take a step back and ask, like, well, what is it about like profanity that you're really offended by? Is it the fact that you grew up, learning that those are bad words? Or is it one of those things that, how people say, only people who curse are people who don't have a big vocabulary, which I think is fucking ridiculous. But I get it. And then sometimes profanity is also used in a sexualized way. So you might get that part of it. But what do you think? What do you think that what the biggest problem is that people have with profanity?
I mean, I think it's because they don't use it, so that's what offends them, or they are Christian, and I put the air quotes, and it offends them because they feel like you're saying something against, I don't know, being Christian. I don't know. I just think it's dumb. And then, of course, some women who are offended by it because they've been taught, a lady does this, a lady does that, a lady. Lady is 2025. Fuck that.
Yeah. You are my lady. Yeah, that's right. That is an old school way of thinking. Like, women aren't supposed to curse. But
Yeah.
they have cursed in every era.
Exactly. That's the part. People are offended when I say specific words. And I'm like, you have no idea what my life has been. So fuck you. Even when I use sexual words, there are some people who are offended by it. And I'm like, if you only knew the podcast I was a co-host on, you would die if you knew how I talked on some of these shows. You would have the ultimate heart attack. So just shut up. And it's not that I go around and I'm just doing like, I'm not going to be when my kid was young, I didn't go to school talking like that or saying vulgar things. I'm not just doing them throughout the day, everywhere in the world. I'm not going to be out in public doing that. But here on this show, yeah, When I'm with my circle of friends, yes, my loved ones, yes. But out in public, I'm like, you fucking bitches, da da da. None of that, unless there's an issue. Other than that, I'm just speaking the way I speak when I'm in the daytime working. But there are some women who feel like a woman should never speak like that because of the way they were raised, and that's fine. But I think those are people sometimes who are bound inside. Like for a long time, I didn't think it was appropriate because my grandmother didn't think it was appropriate. So that's the way I was raised. And it just seemed to have an adverse effect on me because I would be so angry. And it's like, well, I can't use words like, this pernicious kind of thing is so robust, and I'm really upset and angry. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself out of my face. I'm not talking like that. If you're bother, get the fuck out of my face today, right now, this minute. Because it's going to go bad. Like, there's no other way to say it when it's about to go down. Like, I'm going to be polite because I will politely say, could you please get the fuck out of my face? And then if you continue, then now here we go. But I'm not going to be nice. I lady like shit is out the door.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a woman, you take care of your own business and you doing what you have to do on your own. Sometimes you have to add a little bit of that. Since people say it's masculinity, you have to add a little bit of that masculinity to do what you need to do to protect yourself. Like, you don't want anybody to think you walking around a wallflower. You don't want anybody thinking you so soft that they can do whatever the fuck they want to do to you, and that's male or female. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you have to walk around and act like you tough and that you just out of the gutter, but you want people to understand, listen, we gonna be good. I'm going to talk sweet to you. You're going to talk sweet to me. We'll be nice, but don't cross the line and think that you can take my kindness for weakness. It's just that simple. And most of the time, I don't say anything until the last minute. I'll let you keep going until I've had enough. And when it's at that point, then that's when everything comes out. Then that's when it's a different side, because I don't believe in just being aggressive out the gate. I'll give you time, like this work situation. This has gone on for 2 months. 2 months. And I still haven't said anything back to this lady. I have not said one word back to her at all. But I knew it's coming. So let me remove myself from the situation. So that's how it happens in most cases. But, when it comes to sanity, I just think it's how people are raised, and this belief that it means ignorant, or that your vocabulary is limited and that you don't know anything, that you're ignorant, dumb, or stupid, when we know that's not the truth at all.
Yeah.
And there are some studies that say people who use profanity is smarter than anybody. So I don't know if that's true or not either, but hey, the people I know who use a lot of it kind of, they are pretty smart. Well, you can't fuck around with them for real.
Well, it's to me, it's about expression, but I understand. I get it. I understand how some people don't, they haven't been taught to use that form of expression. So they find it. And like I said, a lot of times, curse words can be used to express, over sexualization of certain things or whatever. And people, because of the way that they were brought up, they might hear sexuality in the curse words, even when the conversation has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Or when the person using the curse words is not talking about anything like that. But I like I said, I get it. I may not subscribe to it, but I get it. I totally get it. Why some people are offended by profanity.
My grandmother would actually say cuss word. She would say, that cuss word had the nerve to blah, blah, blah.
All right, you figure it out.
That cuss word every once in a blue moon, and I mean in a blue moon, she would say, damn. But other than that, she would say cuss word to fill in the blank. Although she had friends who, when I was old enough to sit at the table, the big table, and have lunch with them who would say words that would make my mouth fall open and my eyes get big because I'm like, I've been around this lady my whole life and I've never heard her say any of these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's even my great aunt. Like, the first time I heard my great aunt say dick, I had to call my mother. I was like,
You ready to clutch your pearls?
happening?
You about to clutch your pearls? You know what I mean? Like, you need to do some rosaries.
Yeah, so I get, but these are women from a different generation. So they believe still women should always wear slips and stockings. And my grandmother always wore slips and stockings. It could be 600 degrees outside, and she was going to have on the slip and stockings or pantyhose. And so they believed a certain way. They were raised a certain way because they were in a specific generation. And, I think that just slowly dissipated as the generations evolved. When the 70s hit, women were a little more empowering. And then the 80s hit, and then the 90s and the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? It just changed. Now, it's always been women who went against the grain. We know that from some of the songs on our Friday night show. We like, wait a minute. It wasn't just Little Kim and Glorilla who sing these kind of songs.
Not at all.
It was old Gwendolyn, Grace, who was singing something about, I saw him on the corner and told him I got that thing. Remember, we heard those kind of songs. We were like, wait a minute. If I heard my grandmother singing that, I wouldn't know how to handle it. So it's not anything new. It's just, it's more acceptable. However, I'm offended when I hear young people do it. Because even in this neighborhood, I grew up over here, and we were not walking up and down the street using profanity because we came up at a time where everybody was watching you and everybody could scold you. So, and we had a different respect for our neighbors. We were not going to do something. First of all, you're going to chastise me and everybody else on my way home. And then you're going to call my mother, my grandmother, my sister, everybody. And then I'm in trouble. So I'm not doing that. Where now these kids walk up and down the street and say any and everything. And I'm always like, no, wait a minute, little person. Can you live life a little bit before you start doing all that? So, there's that.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I talk how I want to talk, but I do get it. And I don't always use profanity. Like, I don't curse around my mom.
Oh no, I don't do that around my dad.
It's not that she's offended by it, you know what I mean? But I just, there's a level of respect there. I just don't want to cross that line, you know what I mean? I'm a grown ass man. I can say whatever I wanted to, but I don't. I don't think that that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't need to.
Yeah.
But I grew up around people who cursed around their parents. Like, black people be like, only white kids can get away with that. That's not true. That's not true. It may not happen on a large scale, but there's no accounting for children who don't have any respect for their parents. Because, during the crack era, I saw a lot of shit dealing with disrespect and language that was aimed at parents because, they was getting high, you know what I mean? And maybe the frustration from the kids not being able to reach them, not being able to, being unreliable and everything, it probably fueled their frustration and made them just go ahead and lash out and start cursing around them. But yeah, I understand how people can get very offended by that. Let's see. Kaylin Manuel says, what happened to your hairline? Man, you wouldn't believe it. Your mom was greasing my scalp one night. Dog, you know what I'm saying? She was scratching my dandruff. She was parting, she was parting my hair and greasing away and shit. I was sitting between her legs, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, I started losing my hair. I don't know. I thought she was using regular sulfur 8 or whatever. I don't know what the fuck she was using, but it had
Sulfur 8.
yeah, it was, she was using that sulfur 8. That shit, that shit felt like, that sulfur 8 used to feel like somebody was rubbing the halls on your scalp and shit. You know what I'm saying? Vicks Vapor Rub or some shit. Anyway, next thing you know, I don't have no fucking hair, man. Yo, Kaylin, or Kalan, or whatever the fuck your name is. Yo, tell your mom, first of all, I ain't seen her in a while. Tell her I said hi. Tell her my hair didn't grow back, you know what I mean? But I forgive the bitch. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm not the only man she did that shit to, because, there was a while when I thought we had the greatest love of all. But fuck it. You know what I'm saying? That hoe, I tell you what, your mom can kiss. That bitch can kiss her ass off. I give her that shit. She can't grease a scalp worth shit, but she got other skills. By the way, how old are you, Kaylee? Because you might be, we'll discuss that later on. Hit me up, sun752@AOL.com. Yeah, she must, she gave birth to you. She probably used a different kind of grease, but we ain't got to get into that. That shit was stronger than sulfur 8, I tell you that.
That's something else that people are offended by my laugh. Don't care though.
How can you be offended by a damn laugh? What kind of shit is that?
Because I laugh like this when it's real funny anywhere I'm at.
I mean, I understand, but I just don't understand. Well, why would a laugh be offensive? I can understand where it might be off-putting or inappropriate, or like if you're laughing at something that people don't think that you should be laughing at, but just the laugh in and of itself, I'm like, you offended by it? I understand you don't like it. You know what I mean? But offended? Like, what the fuck? Can't even laugh around some people. What the hell is going on?
Hey, we've been in restaurants and my laugh is the same everywhere if it's hilarious. And, some people are offended by it. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you.
Look, I done gave K-Line or whatever his fucking name is, I done gave him a little bit too much attention. Now he's starving for more and shit. It's like petting. It's like when you start petting a cat. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you ain't gonna be able to get out of this little. You know what I mean? Now he's like, and then, sit your purring ass down, motherfucker. Yeah. Shut up all that noise. You know what I mean? Stop licking on your own balls. All right, Blessman says his last name is Manuel. That means his mom Latina. Didn't know you mess with Latinas, son. I mean, I had a couple of Dominicans, a couple of Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a Peruvian and an Ecuadorian. You know what I'm saying? I had my time in the sun. I had my time in the sun. Ain't if she black, I'm messing around with a Latina and shit. Sometimes the light skinned ones get a little anti-historic. Let's just call it that. Wink, wink, wink. But it's all good. Manuel, That's how I know. That's how I know his mom was cheating on me, because ain't no way I would have named my son no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Kalan part, possibly, but Manuel, like he must be Dominican, because those two names don't go together. Those two names are when Puerto Ricans have a Spanish first name and a Spanish last name. The Dominicans, they be having like, yo, his name is Raheem Rodriguez. They be mixing and matching, boy. You know what I'm saying? They get down like that. And another thing about and y'all might find this offensive, but it's the absolute fucking truth. One thing about Dominicans, them motherfuckers don't wear they must not get cold feet ever. They do not wear socks and shit in the wintertime. It could be snowing out there, bitch. I be like, yo, you ain't got no socks, you got no sneakers. Like, what the hell? It's like some shit I never seen before. It's crazy.
You know what? Now that you say it, I'm thinking I used to talk to a guy who was Dominican. Did he ever wear socks?
And you live in Indiana. It get cold in Indiana.
Somebody always says something about his ankle.
Mm.
I don't think he did. Or if he did, he wore the shorty socks in the wintertime. And it's like, dude, it's 6,000 degrees below zero. What are you doing?
Man. Man. Bushman says Dominicans be like, I know Black Papa. So, all right. So, let's talk about other things that might be. Okay, no. We haven't talked about why we're not offended by some things that other people might find offensive. I think we need to take some time to talk about that. Is there anything specifically that comes to your mind that you're not offended by, but that other people that you might know are very offended by?
What we just talked about, profanity,
yeah, exactly. Right. I'm not offended by, but sometimes with sexuality, I am offended. Because sometimes it's inappropriate. When I was a young boy, believe it or not, the first time I heard 2 Live Crew, I was like, yeah, it was too much. You know what I'm saying? It was for me at the time, it was just too much. I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because they was going in. Their first album, Move Something, was one thing, but when they did the album that had Me So Horny on it, what was the name of that damn album? Nasty As We Wanna Be. I was like, these motherfuckers done took it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, but so sometimes when things are a little too over sexualized, I'm offended. Sometimes I'm offended by too much violence. I really don't like a lot of, people be posting like fight videos, a lot of black on black violence. I don't really like that shit. Am I offended by it? I think I'm more offended by how people think that it's okay.
The representation of it offends me.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. The violence itself is not offensive, but the way that it's presented, like this is okay, like there's no or the fact that they think I might enjoy it, I find that to be a little offensive.
So the question was it the things that other people think we should be offended by, but we're not?
Yeah, or things that you're not offended by. Yeah, simply things that you're not offended by that maybe people would think that you would be, or For example, like the dude in the chat, talking about my hairline. I'm not offended by, bald joke. Like, it's not something I can control. Why would I be offended by it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was really offended by it, I would do something dumb like wear hats all the time or get a hairpiece, some stupid shit. So I'm not offended by jokes, or gestures about balding. I'm like, fuck, I care. Like, this is how I look. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. So no, I'm not offended by that. But I know some men who are. That's a soft spot for them. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? What are you laughing at? You was a whole mess.
That's a perfect example. I already told them to stop the bald guy routine because they probably got a Stevie Wonder hairline.
Okay. You talking about in the chat.
However, I'm sure some people are offended by the Stevie Wonder reference. And because he's blind, so it's like he can't see that his hairline is all the way back to his neck. And some people are offended that others make jokes about it, but I'm not offended by it. It's true. And it's just sad that his people have him out there like that. Well, that's the perfect example. Certain jokes that are made, comedians are going to comedy. That's just what it is. And sometimes they say things that, they're like too soon. And I'm always like, it's never. But there are some jokes that are said that others feel like we should be offended by it. For example, now I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get the show shut down. So I'll keep to the tip. That's another example.
Thanks for looking out. Appreciate that.
That would be really bad. That's an example. I heard saying something about the Stevie Wonder reference. That's something a lot of people are offended by because they look at Stevie Wonder as a national treasure. And it's no disrespect to Stevie Wonder at all. I think he's one of the greatest musicians that God has ever graced us with, that the Creator has ever created. And a kind person, at least what we see in the public, and does a lot for everybody. However, it doesn't mean he's void of a good joke. And that was a funny thing that iHeart said. Of course, I find it hilarious, but others will find it offensive. So, I think those are examples of some things that people think we should be offended by. Everybody should be offended by it, and everybody is not. And, some people are just goofy. I'm one of those people, and I laugh at a lot of stuff, and that was funny to me. So there's that. And even at funerals, I told you, the cousins and I will get in trouble at a funeral in a heartbeat. And I don't know if it's just a mechanism that makes us laugh at stuff inappropriately, or if it's just we're so used to when we get together, we don't know how to behave. So when we're at funerals, sometimes there are things that happen that the elders in the family are always offended that we are giggling and snickering. For example, at one of the aunt funerals, everybody came. The women were coming in these awful ass wigs. And so one of the aunts came in, this wig was terrible. She had walked back and forth past her son like 3 times. And the last time she walked past, he was like, Mama, I didn't know it was you because of that. He's like, Mama, I didn't know it was you because of that wig on your head. He was like, where did you get it from? Did you get it at party city? And I tried my best not to laugh. But my cousin and her daughter they were 2 seats ahead of me, and turned around, looked me in my face, and said, nope, don't bring me into this. And then they got up and came and sat next to me, and then eventually we're in trouble. So, it's stuff like that that I think people think we should be offended by somebody cutting up in a funeral, but unfortunately everybody's not like that. I mean, there are some people at the funeral who they are over there acting, separate them, even though we're grown, separate them, don't let them sit together like we're 6-year-olds. And we try not to, but it's hard to avoid it sometimes. So
Yeah.
I think those are situations, like there was a video where the dude went to put something they were lowering the casket into the ground, and he was acting a fool, and he almost fell in there too. And when somebody went to grab him, it tore his pants. And so, some of the young people, they were laughing. And then one of the grandmas, oh Lord, the devil's trying to take him too.
The devil's trying to take him too.
That would make me laugh out of my clothes. Like, there is no way I would be able to stay there because I would laugh so hard. But, the older people are offended by that because they feel like this is a solemn situation and there's no room for laughter or joy here. And I just think that's how we handle those kind of emotions. That's how we handle that. Sometimes we find the funniest point and stick to that because it hurts so bad. So it could just be a mechanism to not feel the pain of the loss. I mean, who knows? Or again, it could just be we're assholes when we get together. We don't know how to behave. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. So what other things are you not offended by that maybe even you think that you probably should be offended by it, but you're not?
So here's the sense, because there's a sense, there's a level. I'm not offended by the LGBTQ community. However, I'm offended when it's disrespect or control involved. For example, there is a YouTube person who is trans or whatever. I don't really know what he is because he still has a penis. And I'm like, okay. But he thinks he's in competition with women. And I'm offended by him because, dude, seriously, we're not in competition at all.
Not at all.
Shut the fuck up. Any dude who would choose you over me is just a gay man at the end of the day. I'm just going to call it what it is. He's just a gay man.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm not offended by someone in the same community who is just like, look, I dress like this, I feel like this is what I like. However, women and we're not in competition. You know what I'm saying? You do you over there, I'll do me over here. This is the kind of men I'm attracted to and who are attracted to me, and those are the kind of men who you're attracted to, who are attracted to you. Like, I don't have an issue with that. It's when you're trying to bully and control when I have a problem. Mm-hmm. That's when I'm offended. I'm not offended by the community as a whole because I have a lot of respect for people. So what you choose to do in your bedroom is your shit. It don't have nothing to do with me. But when it imposes on my world, then we have a problem. If it imposes on children, then we have a problem. If it imposes on my normal lifestyle, then I have a problem. So, and here's where it comes to, it looks like I'm the bad guy. When we start doing this whole pronoun thing, and it affects people's jobs and how they live, that's an issue for me. I'm offended by that because there are people who have decided they want to do the gender thing, and now instead of me calling you a he, you want me to call you a she, when my brain, my 50-plus-year-old brain has always known to call a male a he and a female a she. and now you want me to do this bullshit, and if I make a mistake, then I'm wrong, and you can sue me, and all this kind of stuff. No, get the fuck out of here with that. That is where it comes into me being offended.
All right, hold on. We have another call on line.
Sure.
You have a call from
J Money.
J Money. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. What's good?
What is up? What is up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So I hear Tim's on here talking about Transformers, and
Transformers.
I'm just curious. I just have a question. Like him, seriously. Like, yeah, I think some of it is age, because the pronouns thing, I'm not doing it. But how do you feel about like the drag queen story time and that kind of thing? Are you offended by that?
I am, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anybody's place to decide what a child learns when they learn it. I don't think it's fair that, because kids are kids, they understand the world as a child. So I would never have wanted my kid to come home at 6 years old when I'm not ready to have the adult sex talk with him and ask me, Mommy, why this man had on makeup and a dress? You know what I'm saying? And then I have to explain that. I wouldn't have been ready for that. And I don't think it's fair that they use that kind of thing to force parents into discussions that they may not be ready for. Like, kids are going to ask questions. They see the world in a very innocent way. And if you raise your children the way, everybody has raised them since the beginning of time, you teach them, this is a girl, this is a boy. This is what a girl looks like. This is what a boy looks like. So then they go to school and they have, or wherever they go, and there's this thing going on. Like, I don't have a problem with drag queens at all. I love a good drag queen show. But I just don't think these impressionable things should be introduced to children, and parents are stuck with, now they have to explain it. Now, here's the other side of that coin. If a parent decides that's what they want to do with their child, then that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless you for it. And if there's a special show that you want to take your child to do that, that's fine. But I think there has to be a middle ground that says, this is what I choose to do with my kid, and I'm going to take my kid to this library where this is going on, versus now you're at my kid's school and now I have to have the conversation when I wasn't prepared for it. That's where I draw the line with it. I think everybody has a choice to do what they want, but I don't think it's fair to impose it on someone.
And I think that's my whole issue. Like, I don't get offended by what people do in their personal life, what they need to do to feel okay, whatever. But with that particular issue, my thing has been the insistence that I have to abandon some part of what I know as reality in order to make someone else feel comfortable. And what offends me is that it gets couched as, this is for our safety. Like, stop. No, it's not. I don't need to believe that you can go from being a man to a woman or vice versa in order for you to be safe. I don't need to agree with you in order to believe that you deserve to be safe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I believe you deserve to be safe. I don't think anyone should be able to do anything to you. I don't think people should be able to keep you from having a place to live or working a job where that really doesn't come into play.
Facts.
But don't do this insistence that unless I agree with something that to me is literally a delusion, that you're unsafe.
Literally.
That I'm making you unsafe, or that I'm a bigot. I'm not a bigot. Again, I want you to be able to live your life the best you can. Life is hard. We all struggle. Whatever you need to do to feel like you can make it, not take yourself out, all right, do it. But don't tell me, it also can relate to this for sure. And I think you can too, I'm an English person, man. So in English, how do we determine the meaning of definitions? There's no board that determines it. It is two things. One, the most attested to historical uses, right? So when you look back at what's been written, how has that word been used? Two, how do most speakers of that language understand a particular word? And in English, it's real simple. An adult human male is a man, and an adult human female is a woman. Now, if you think that those definitions aren't broad enough, then you are welcome to try to change them by getting more and more people to adopt your way of seeing. But to insist that people who use the words the way most English speakers do and the way they have forever are bigots is nuts. It's nuts. And that's where I get offended, because I feel like, we don't need to, I don't need to come over to your reality, which I think is not reality, and start doing all these things to make you feel comfortable in order for you to be safe. And I get offended because I feel like that's just a form of manipulation. And the other thing is this, trans people, and I'm including drag queens and trans people now. I wouldn't have done that 20 years ago, but they kind of gotten all pushed into the same category. They're not a monolith. They don't all feel the same way. They don't all look at things the same way. So we're really talking about a minority of very loud activists who are trying to push a certain agenda and a certain way of looking and demanding that everyone else conform, and that offends me. I have a boy who's Puerto Rican, and he was telling me that Latinx is unpopular among most Latino and Hispanic people. They don't like it. Like 6% of them prefer that over Hispanic or Latino, or more importantly, most of them like is when you identify them by their nationality / ethnicity. So I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Dominican, I'm Ecuadorian. Most of them like that. But think about when you look on the public stage and how many, especially people who think they're progressive, want to use Latinx. They don't even like it. The people themselves don't like it. But this is what I'm talking about, same kind of thing, where it's just, we know better and we're going to force everyone else to conform, and we're going to use this manipulative language to make it happen. That's what offends me. And the drag, I'm telling you, man, if somebody did a drag queen story time at my kid's school, they're going to hear from me. They're going to see me.
I hear that.
They're going to see me. We're going to see each other. And I'm not going to be mad at the drag queen. I'm going to be like, who authorized this? Who thought this was a good idea? To your point, Kim, who decided that now everybody's going to have a talk with their 6-year-old about why some 6'9" auntie with stubble came in and read their stories? Like,
make it make sense, baby.
With stubble and lipstick and eyeshadow and lashes.
To borrow from Gil Scott Heron, looking like a fullback in a mini dress. Like, no, that's
shit don't make no
okay
sense,
for you to impose. And I'm not offended by much. I'm really not offended by much. But this idea of imposing these I wouldn't even say politically correct, but these constructed realities and making everyone else agree to it is where I draw the line, because it's not necessary in order to respect other people's rights, and it's not necessary in order to keep people safe. That's just bullshit. So
I think you said the right word when you said manipulative.
Yeah, it is. It's highly manipulative, because the moment you say, "Oh, someone's safety is in jeopardy," that's how you win the argument. Then it shuts down conversation about the reality of things. It shuts down conversation about nuance. It shuts down conversation about other points of view. And, and they did the same thing to Dave Chappelle. That's what they kept trying to cancel him with, Oh, you're jeopardizing our safety. Let me tell you something. If somebody would hit you in the head with a can or something because you're trans, they're not doing it because they heard a Chappelle joke. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
And the last thing I'll say is Ricky, I think it was Ricky Gervais, one of these comedians, he said something, he got in trouble for, I couldn't believe it, a couple years ago. He said, wow, and he said, I fully support trans rights and all this other stuff. He said, but who would have thought 10 years ago that we come to a point where if you say boys have a penis, girls have a vagina, that would be controversial.
Yep.
It's not. So,
and here we are.
Y'all too. I'm gonna get back off and get back in the chat. My man Kalan over here, he's transitioning right now, and I just want to help guide through this. So, all right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, Jay. Thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you for showing this. You know, he hit the nail on so many heads. But Ricky Gervais, that is one of the most controversial people, but he's so hilarious. And I know so many people who are offended by his shows and the things he says, and they're like, he's so racist. And I'm like, have you ever really watched Family Guy? He goes in on everyone. There is no one who is void of his wordplay. So it doesn't make him racist because he does whatever he says, but there's no person, there's no living being that's void of anything he adds to his show. No one. No man, no woman, no mammal that's void of it. Hell, he even talks about trees. So I'm just saying, he's one of the people who people are so offended by the things he says, but it's like he's always on point when he says it. So
what about Corey Holcomb?
You know, he's weird to me. Sorry, but he is. I'd like to say he's one of these people who's just so, like, I would put him in the lane with Ricky, but I don't. Because he spends a lot of time, I've noticed, over the past 2 years. It doesn't seem like it is the beginning, but it just seems like at one point he jumped on that whole, what's the guy's name who's dead now?
Charlie Kirk.
You know what I'm talking
Charlie
about.
Kirk, right?
The guy who...
Sassy guy. On Kevin Samuel.
Yeah, he jumped on that whole Kevin Samuel train, and now let me degrade every black woman I could think of whose name is in the news. Let me go in on every black woman and make them trash and join the party with Stephen A. Trash Smith and Anton, whatever his damn name is. Let me do that. Let me jump on that train. So that's where it seems like Corey found himself. Like, I didn't think that of him in the beginning, but it's just like over the past few years, he started to digress into that range, especially when Kevin Samuels was out there. It just seemed like that's when he really got on it.
Mm-hmm. Like, he says a lot of offensive shit. He does, you know what I mean? And just like Jason said in the comments, he said, Corey Holcomb is a really funny guy, but let's be honest, he's a hater, especially of any black comedian who's more successful. And you could say the same thing about Cat Williams. You know what I mean? And I know I understand where it's coming from. But yeah, when Corey starts talking about what he really doesn't like, it doesn't feel like jokes. It doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel lighthearted. It's like it's coming from a dark place, and it's coming from a real place. So
like a who hurts you place.
Pretty much. Cause he be going in like where it's not really needed. You know, but like I said, I get it, but yeah, I can see how somebody would be very offended by him. Cause he's mad abrasive. You know what I'm saying? And you can see that is by design.
Yeah.
I Heart Oakland asked about Dave Chappelle. I don't think Dave Chappelle is offensive at all.
No.
But there are plenty of comedians that have been considered to be really offensive over the years. Like I saw a documentary on Andrew Dice Clay. And people were very offended by him and his rock star status back in the 80s, but I used to love him. I thought he was dope. You know what I'm saying? That whole act he had, that his shtick was crazy. But I get it. I get it. Let me see. Some other things, or at least one other thing that I'm not offended by. You know what? I hate to say this. I'm not really offended by racism. Only because I fucking expect it. So when I get it, it was like, well, yeah, I knew you would be here pretty soon, sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't get that, that bent out of shape about it. I don't tolerate it, but I'm not offended by it because, I mean, where you going to go where you don't get any of it? Nowhere I know, not in this country. It's inescapable.
Any country on the planet.
But this country is different because we insist on it.
This country was built on it, so it's expected. This country was built on it. A lot of things that happen in this country are expected because this is what this country was built on pedophilia. This country was built on sex. This country was built on racism. This country was built on ignorance. This country was built on pilferage and rape. This country was built on all those things. In all honesty, the whole sexual thing this country was built on. Let's be real. I mean, people don't want to admit it, but their forefathers were doing their nasty thing. So it's expected from this country. So yeah, I'm like you. I'm not offended by racism. I don't withstand it. Like, you can't get in my face and be like, you nigger bitch, and think you're gonna walk away without anything happening.
Right.
But I mean, if that's what you want to do you. It is what it is. But guess what? Just as much as you can say, I can say too.
Yeah, I just I don't get all bent out of shape when I see it taking shape because I always expect it anyway. But I do understand how some people really, really get down about it. And I'm like, but there's nothing you can do about it for real, for real. You can do something about a specific incident or whatever, but on the whole, this thing is like the ocean. And there's no way you can control the ocean. It can't be done. You know what I mean? I don't care how big your boat is, you can't control that body of water. It controls everything. It consumes anything that goes inside of it. So I get it. And it's fucked up that I'm not offended by it for real. But you got to find a way to be able to cope in this world. And in the United States, if you were born here, you're going to get a healthy daily dose for a lot of people of overt, outright racism. So that's like one of those things that you got to kind of cozy up to because it ain't going nowhere. And it's hard as hell to prove. All right, we're going to get on up out of here, Kim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bid you farewell. No. Before we go, let's go ahead and do these. Let's do the poll questions. See the results of this shit. Because I haven't really taken a look at it. All right, which of these do you find to be the most offensive? All right, cursing at kids or seniors. Overwhelmingly, 62% out of 37 votes said that they find that offensive. All right, 3% said sex in videos, songs, movies, or porn. Okay. 19% said racism, bigotry, stereotype jokes. All right. And 16% says violence in videos, content, etc. Huh. That's interesting. It's funny. Our demographic has no problem with sex videos. Like, yo, take it off. That's some crazy shit. I swear, these polls I'll be like, okay. What a sample size. But okay, I ain't not bad. All right, Kim, if you have one last thing to say, you can go ahead and say it, and then we're gonna do these birthday shout outs, and we will continue until tomorrow.
Well, I don't ever mean to offend anyone, and if you're offended by the things I say, go fuck yourself. For my love, for my family in the chat, and you too, son. Everybody stay safe, stay vigilant, be careful, but be at peace.
I like it. And you be at peace yourself. You have a good night.
You too, thanks.
All right.
Goodbye.
Peace. All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious November 3rd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Taisha Willis. And also Ty Nasha. And also Rudolph Smallwood. Elena Sabira McDaniels. Justin Drew. David Sean Coleman. Giselle Green. My man Steven Johnson. Dina D. My cuz, last but not least, my cuz Ashley Sharp. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious November 3rd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, to rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, Where did the hairline go? I guess nowadays it really just will not show. But yay, yo, everything is going to turn out all right, yo. You got to do what you got to do. You see the light. And the light is the way, and it's the sound, and I'm going to do this thing right now, and because I'm really down as far as you can go. Some people used to say it was China, but I don't know. All I know is that the flow is immaculate. We gonna do the shit, and if I have to get back to it, then I know I will, and then I know I think I can, and I think that I one day will be the man. Right now, I'm the man times two, and I'm gonna do what I got to do. I do it to you, and that's no pause. Yes, there's no draws, and there's no dick, and there's no balls. But I'm really sure these transgender, I see this motherfucker out there about to end the show for the Monday night. We're going to go on to Tuesday and get right. It's the site that I see is kind of like 2020, doing it for free now, but I'm going to get the money, and I'm going to stack it from the floor to the ceiling. I'm going to let you know exactly what's going on and how I'm feeling, and I'm appealing to the people who come through, and I'm going to do it for all y'all, because that's me. Who knows who? My man Tom is right there coming on through. On the late night tip, the show is done, but it's all right. Thanks for coming through, my son. Well, I say my son, I don't mean like my son that I gave birth, but yo, I'm talking to you for what it's worth. We like homeboys, you New York, me Philly. You know how it goes. Niggas acting silly. And the bills, will he pay them? Everything is going to be all right. Get the gun sprayer. And then the life ends, and then we gotta have the family and friends sitting right up in the front because the funeral is coming. And I ain't trying to be out here bumming and slumming. Make sure I stay fresh to death. I'ma do that from the birth till I take my last breath. And I ain't laying down. Not right now, but we're gonna have to get there one day. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Daily Go Getimism show. So make sure y'all come on through, man. You know what I mean? And hopefully it won't be so offensive. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And I appreciate all of y'all. I holla. All right.